It was obviously based on like previous research on how cells really work, but my thing was how we can make it more efficient. So we can dig deeper into the cell mechanics if you like me to explain that how I came up with the technique itself and what was the pattern really like and what was my focus on. But that's what I worked on and that's what I developed. And then after developing that technique, we got it patented. It's provisional patent now.
Hi, and welcome to Oof, I'm in college. What's next? I'm Suzanne Ishii, director of the NJIT Hub for Creative Placemaking and Film and Television Workforce Development. We're delighted once again to invite you to tune in today to the Martin Tuckman School of Management podcast, and we are thrilled to welcome one of our current students here. Today's topic is how to do what you really love to do. And we are thrilled to have a person on our campus who is practicing that every day. Our takeaway today will be, how do you find what it is that you really want to do? So sit back and relax and welcome to Aliza Mujahid. And Aliza, we thank you for joining us today. I want to know a little bit about what you are doing here on campus, what you're studying, and we'll take it from there. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Zinn, for having me today. I'm delighted and honored as well. Well, hello everyone. I'm Aliza. I'm currently a senior majoring in biomedical engineering. We have 4 tracks in biomedical engineering, so I'm pursuing medical imaging and device track. So it's more based on electrical and software engineering.
Okay. What are the other 3 tracks?
The other 3 tracks are biomaterials, so it's like more material-based learning. Then we have pre-health track. You can go to med school right after that. And the 4th one is biomechanics, so you'll be more working like a mechanical engineer. So I'm more based on electrical and computer engineering track over here. I'm also minoring in chemistry, so that's my go-to to go forward with the chemical and the cell mechanics behind it. And then I'm doing a lot of things on campus, but most prominent one is that I serve as the president of the Entrepreneurship Society, and that's where I would say for campus.
Wonderful. So here at MTSM, are you also studying innovation and entrepreneurship?
I have taken courses from Professor Bandera. His course was based on intro to entrepreneurship. It was ENTR 210, where I got a chance how I can have my own business model based on the startup company I'm working on. And with that knowledge and with that coursework, I was able to apply it even to the pitch competitions that I'm currently participating in.
So you had an idea before you took that course, or did the idea stem from taking that introductory course?
Already had the research as well as the idea of what I'm going to do with it, but I didn't know how I can have an entrepreneurial experience with it. So that was the big step up with taking that course and how I can place my research, my idea into market.
Wonderful. So let's back up a little bit and talk about how you came up with your idea and what it is. Let's just start right there.
Okay, great. So back in sophomore year, I'm a really passionate learning person. So I was like, being an Albert Dorman Honors College student, I have to start research because that's where your building block really stands. That's what I believe in. When you go and you see how to make things, that's where it stands out. So I had as being an honor student, you have to attend colloquiums. So there were 2 colloquiums that you have to attend every semester. One of the colloquium was based on biomechanics research, which Dr. Farid Ali Safai from Biomechanical Engineering Department here at NJIT came in and presented. And I was like, this is it. This is engineering. This is cells as well as engineering. I want to join his lab. So I went to him after the colloquium and I was like, I would love to participate in your lab. And then he was like, sure. So next day I came in, I started with the basic learning of like software and mechanical tools. And then he gave me this independent research project where he was like, work on something that's going to make skin grafting efficient. So, guys, if you don't know what skin grafting is, it is basically you take healthy part from your body area, you then have mesh with cuts, you stretch it and transplant it over to the wound area. So that's how it works. So he was like, come up with a technique using these mechanical software where you would have more cell integration, like faster healing, where you will have higher success rate of surgery. It was obviously based on like previous research on how cells really work, but my thing was how we can make it more efficient. So we can dig deeper into the cell mechanics if you like me to explain that how I came up with the technique itself and what was the pattern really like and what was my focus on. But that's what I worked on and that's what I developed. And then after developing that technique, we got it patented. It's provisional patent now. And that's where I stand. We have multiple things. So we just now have to integrate it into the medical device to go on from there.
Wow. All right. So that is a really interesting a chronicle of your process. Let's step back again, Aliza, a little bit and tell me how quickly you knew or what prepared you to understand that this is what was going to be your focus, what you really, really wanted to do. How did you know that? And did you come in with that idea or how did you get there?
So my focus of being in biomechanics was more based on my previous education. So I come from a Cambridge school system. I went through British school system. I didn't go through American school system where we have to take courses either like engineering sciences or computer sciences. My focus was mainly always on med school. Like I was like prepared. I was taking physics, chemistry, biochem, and then maths as well. But I haven't done coding. So I wasn't familiar with the coding aspect of it. However, when you're an engineer, you need to know coding. That's really essential. But when I came in, I was like, I want to be a part of a research lab where they're doing engineering plus biology. So that's where my lead on was like, I want to go to a focused learning area where they're working with skin, like human itself.
Why? Why skin?
Skin, I would say, was more like a general term, but more human itself. Skin was the topic given to me. So it was more like something I want to work on the body, like on the cells. And I would say it would be affiliated back with the cancer that my grandma had. So looking at that, I was like, I want to contribute to a research where I can really impact the patient there. So that's when I was like, biomechanics is a good start because that's where the vaccines are made. That's what laboratories work on mostly, and that's where all the new therapeutic medicines that you see is basically initiated for research.
One of the things that I'm finding very interesting in working and speaking with the students during these podcast recordings is that there's a relationship, there's a connection in what you're doing to your personal life, to your family somehow. And we're finding that over and over again, which I find very heartening, that you are inspired by something in your personal life with your grandmother, and you're moving forward with that. I don't have a thought beyond that, but I just find that an interesting fact that's happened in every single one of our podcasts so far. So I'm pleased to hear that you're carrying on and you have decided what you want to do with your life right now based on something very personal to you. let's go back once again and talk about the preparation you might have had in high school, and how the classes may be different from what you had in high school. Your college classes.
Sure. So with the coursework I took, it's more like you have your final exam because you go through the board system. So you prepare for 1 year and then you give your final exam, and that's your last grade. Like, this is it once you pass over. So the courses initiated with O levels, which is equivalent to 9th and 10th grade over here. And then with that, I took physics, chemistry, bio, maths, like, and we have literary subjects as well. Like, I took Pakistan studies, and then Islamic studies, and then Urdu, English, and like other languages that you want to take, geography, everything. And then we transitioned to A levels. So A levels is like advanced level, and then like in that you have to choose subjects. Like, you have to be specific. And I would say they're equivalent to AP high school classes.
I see.
So I took physics 1, physics 2, chem 1, chem 2, bio 1, bio 2, and then maths I went to like calc 2. And so taking those courses prepared me from the engineering aspect of it. However, when I came here to college, my first class was FED. And FED is like fundamental of engineering design. And it was affiliated with biomedical engineering. And in that first class, our professor, Dr. Erdi, she gives us, you have to make a device. Now, to make a device, you do need the engineering aspect of it. You do need those subjects to know like what a patient would really need, but you don't know how to make it. So I didn't know how to make it, and that was really new to me. And I was like, okay, I don't know how to code. I don't know how to 3D design. I don't know how to model. I have never used any of these softwares. That's not something that my school gave it to me or prepared for me. So that was something really new to me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to the maker space. I'm making something out of it. I'm using these different software, these AutoCAD tools. I'm really making a prototype on there. So that's something I have to learn. And the great part was that we were able to learn 2 coding styles during that FED class. One was MATLAB and the other one was Arduino. It was a good basic introductory thing. So, and later on we did self-learning to make our medical devices during that coursework. And from there onwards, every semester almost, there was a class where I was working with coding or like electrical stuff and stuff like that. And doing that in person was really cool, I would say.
Yeah, that sounds so fascinating to me. And so that was a big transition for you from high school, because you'd gotten some basic knowledge and very impressive credentials from your high school. But when you came here, it was a whole different ballgame. Did that scare you?
Yeah. And it was like you are actually making things here. So it was like great.
Did you have any fear of that at all, or did you ever feel overwhelmed?
I have always been an excited person about learning new things. So whenever I see something new, I get excited.
I see.
That lead towards me to do self-learning as well. But as far as fear, I would say I had a good mentorship, so I never had that feeling of fear. But overall, I would say it was a new experience, and everyone was so supportive that we had TAs in class who were helping us to do our coding and like.
And
TAs are basically teacher assistant who are helping us in class, and the professor, like we had 2 to 3 TAs, and they're there to help you, guide you, and navigate you what you really need. So I didn't have the fear for sure. It was excitement more of.
Oh, that's so great to hear, because I think that many people would think it's just daunting. You're going from what you've known in your schooling and your friends and everything, that you've been so familiar with for your entire growing up period, and then you come to college and you're immediately told, well, you've got to do this and this and this, and you go, wow, that sounds like a lot. And it's impressive that you were excited about it. I think that's the key word that I heard, that it didn't scare you, and you had the support that you needed. All of this is really good information. The other thing I want to ask you is, you said that your research and the work that you're doing is mechanical based.
Yes.
Can you go into that a little bit more and talk to us about what that means?
So with mechanics, what we are mostly focused on, that how would a cell react in different kinds of environment, like mechanical pressure. Like if I would like stretch a cell, it's like we're applying stiffness to it. So how would it react? Because what we're basically looking into is like within skin grafting, when a plastic surgeon stretches the skin, there's a stress on the cells. So we're looking how would it modify its nature, so that we can basically go in the fundamentals of how cells are basically working, what are they really taking in as, and what are their output for such environment. And because of those triggers, we are basically trying to find out a solution. So first, with the mechanical, we go in the fundamentals, understanding how cell behavior is, and then we can predict, like, okay, if we do certain steps, what is going to make the cell not do the things it's supposed to do, and do things that we want it to do, and basically make it more efficient. So integrating pressure, stress, and mechanical tools, and seeing how it will work. Even especially in the cell biology, when you look at the mechanical side, cells have these Langerhans parallel to it. So they are like fibers within the cell. So if you cut it, like cross-cut it, it's going to activate the cell. It's going to make it go crazy, and it's going to go like, it's going to have that memory stored in it, and it will not be as good for it to be placed over to the wound area. So what we, as like mechanical engineers, we want to come up with a technique that we are not cutting like right through it, but we're cutting parallel to it.
Interesting.
So when it's cut parallel through it, there's less cell activation. There's less craziness going on within the cell. So then they're more adaptable to the new site in that way. You mostly see is like when there's like a skin grafting procedure, there's a scarring in the region, and most of the time it gets detached. So that's what that craziness leads to in a person. So our thing was go in the fundamentals, see what factors are making them go crazy, and then lower them.
I love the way you speak about this in simplistic terms. So let's go back to the entrepreneur side and the innovation. What is your company? Do you have a company yet? If not, what do you envision your company will be? And what will you be doing within that company?
So we do have a company. It's called DermaMech, and I'm currently serving as a CEO of the company. It's not, the website is out there, but it's not registered. Hopefully we'll do it by the end of this semester. So DermaMech is basically, again, derma means skin, and mech means mechanics. So skin mechanics is where the term came from, and something that my professor, Dr. Aliza Mujahid, came up with, and we pursued on with this whole technology.
And what is DermaMech producing?
Oh, so it's making basically a medical device. So there are skin grafting tools which extract basically your skin. It harvests your skin, and then the patient and the plastic surgeon does the rest. So we're making a medical device which harvests your skin, as well as make cuts along its harvesting, and the plastic surgeon can just stretch it and transplant it over to
Oh, that's so exciting. So it must be thrilling for you to know that this device that you are making has been tested, and you've created it out of just various points of information and understanding and experimenting and all of this. And then it is going to go out into the world. It is going to be used for
Yeah.
medical professionals throughout the world. That must be absolutely thrilling for you.
That's the target. Currently, we are making the device so that it could go for clinical trials.
Okay, so what's next for you? You graduate soon.
Yeah, I'm graduating soon. I'm planning to go for a PhD. Let's see if I get into the one I want to go to.
How many schools have you applied to?
I applied to 8 schools.
8 schools.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have heard back only from one yet, but this NIH thing has made it a little bit tough. But hopefully, let's see and hope for the best. I'm looking forward to it. And then also work on DermaMech. I'm not leaving this behind. That's why I want to stay in a region where I'm not too far away from here, and then I can come back and work on it and make it go further from here. Because we've been applying to multiple grants as well.
Wonderful.
So my professor wants me to stay with the DermaMech board, and I will be there for it.
That's absolutely wonderful, and it's wonderful that you want to maintain your ties with NJIT and with the work that you have done here. Well, Aliza, this has been most informative. I am very grateful to you for joining us. If there's one last little tidbit of advice or information you want to share with our audience about how do you find that passion, that thing that you want to do, that you know that you were put here to do, what would that be?
So I would say that being a part of it was always my dream to have my own company, like to have my own medical device or pharmaceutical company. And that's why I chose the fields affiliated with it. That's why I started entrepreneurship right in my first year. That's why I started my research right at my first year. There are hits and miss, but that doesn't define where your path is going to lead. But I would say definitely take every single opportunity that comes alongside it. Don't negate it because you have no idea where it's going to take you. And it's not just I know my research professor, Dr. Aliza Fai, has given me the opportunity to work in these projects. But there are other multiple people who I came across has led me to be where I am today and have that entrepreneurial experience. So one advice I would give to you, take every opportunity that wants to take you where you want to be. So yeah.
That's great advice. So in order to find that thing that you really want to do, seize every opportunity that comes your way.
Yeah.
Aliza Mujahid. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm messing that up. I do know how to say your name. But we are so very happy that you took the time in your busy schedule to join us today. We wish you so very much luck as you continue on with your pursuits and into graduate school and towards your PhD. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Follow your passions, find that thing that you really want to do, and seize every opportunity that comes your way. Thank you so much for joining us, and keep following us on .educast. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.